What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So today we've got a spicy one for you. Really, this is going to be a conversation around, some topics that some people will probably say is an unpopular opinion or a hot take or however you want to describe it. But it's really something I truly feel passionate about and want to talk to you guys about it. Obviously, we're in the WRX today, so going to be posting some Subaru WRX content. Now, to get right into it, guys, the topic of discussion today is the fact that 9 times out of 10, if you are talking to a car guy and you mention, hey, I currently drive a WRX, or I really want to own a WRX, or my buddy has a WRX, it's sick, the number one thing that's going to come up, and it's especially if you're talking to a non-WRX person, is, oh, they're so unreliable, the motor's going to blow, the transmission sucks, head gaskets, this, that, the other, whatever. And that's just it, right? That's just what you have to expect. Now, I'm here today to really kind of debunk that myth in some ways, but also really motivate you and anyone out there who, once again, either currently owns a WRX or is looking to purchase a WRX. I don't want anyone to ever get discouraged. One, from just overall, as a generic statement, I don't want anyone to ever get discouraged from doing something they want to do because of what other people say. But specific to this, don't let these people talking about reliability or XYZ about a WRX deter you from purchasing a car if you genuinely like the car, right? It's important to know these things going into a purchase, to know, yeah, you know what, head gasket failure, that's something, or ringland failure, or glass transmission, or whatever. But at the end of the day, guys, here's the most important point I want to make. When it comes to reliability and overall just performance of your car, it's all going to come from doing proper maintenance and taking care of your mechanical piece of machinery. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Whether we're talking planes, trains, cars, boats, whatever, they're all mechanical by nature. And if you do not maintain said plane, train, boat, whatever, it's just not going to function as optimally as you might expect. And that's where a lot of these issues, in my opinion, and of course, there are bad apples in everything. But generically speaking, a lot of people are going to experience said ringland failure or head gasket failure or whatever when they, A, have either beat the piss out of their car with no proper maintenance or care, upkeep, whatever you want to call it, or when XYZ person purchased their WRX used, they did not have the proper, let's call it, documentation from the previous owner to prove that they had regular maintenance. They, took care of the car. They didn't track the car. They, all these little things. And of course, with that conversation, a lot of times you're splitting hairs. But, I mean, here would be my public service announcement to everyone watching this video. If you really want a Subaru WRX, that's great. Good for you. I was in the same boat. What I will say is be very, 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 very careful when it comes to the used market. A lot of people know, they just know that if I beat the shit out of my car and I do this and I do that, I'll go ahead and sell it because Subarus hold their, or WRXs hold their value relatively well. Let me go ahead and sell it before I blow the head gasket or before I blow the transmission, and let it be someone else's problem. And then they go out and buy the newest type, year WRX, and it's an endless cycle. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is unless you know without a doubt how that car was treated on the used market, pony up a little bit of extra cash, suck it up, and buy a new WRX that you are going to have full control over the maintenance, how it's driven. Do you let it warm up? Do you bang through gears? Do you properly rev match? Do you do all this stuff? Or are you trusting the word of someone else? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like leaving a decision up to trust in someone else. That's just not how I operate. But anyway, this all comes down to how these cars are actually treated. Sure, there are going to be defective parts. There are going to be just straight up better built WRXs than other WRXs. And I'm not talking different years or different trims. I'm talking 2019 base WRX. Mine might just be built better than the next 2019 base WRX. And that's just how things go when we're talking about mechanical machines. And I think this gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. A lot of people like to just make general blanket statements based on stereotypes, or hey, my buddy had this experience, so now everyone who drives this car is going to have this experience. That type of stuff where it's just not fair. You could point out any car. I don't care if you're talking a Z, a Corvette, Infiniti, Ferrari, Lamborghini. Every car is going to inherently have more problems if it's not properly maintained. And that is the point of this conversation today, guys. It does not matter what you do or who says what or any of that sort of stuff is literally inconsequential if you just do your proper maintenance to your car. And if you want me to post a video or just post something in the description of a proper maintenance schedule of a WRX and how to do it, what to do, when to do, whatever, I'd be more than happy to do that for you guys, because guess what? It's not hard. It really is not hard. Anymore nowadays, we have the world at our fingertips with our phones, Google, Chat GPT, all this shit. It's not difficult. So if you would just take an extra, 2 seconds to look this stuff up and set yourself up for success, that's the thing no one really thinks about when they're talking about these WRXs. And I get it, right? I get that a lot of these comments made and poking fun or whatever, it's joking around. And that's fine, right? I get it. But when it leaves the joking realm and goes into a serious dig on your platform, first off, that person's just an asshole, because I can like whatever cars, trucks, whatever that I want, and that doesn't mean that you have to agree with me, right? So yeah, they're an asshole, but they also just don't get it. They really do not get it. They're just repeating what other people said, and they really have nothing to back up, no important, valid claims to back up where they're coming from. Here's the thing. My WRX right now, as I'm driving, 74,128 miles. 74,000 miles. One engine, original transmission. Literally the only issue I had here was fouled spark plugs. And that was due to an inherent risk I took by modifying my car. That's another thing to talk about, guys. Modifying your car. No one is going to sit there and be like, oh, damn, blew my head gasket on a stock WRX. If you blow your head gasket on a stock WRX, odds are it was probably a bad part. Or you were just a total fucking idiot, but probably a bad part. A lot of these issues are going to happen when you're dealing with modified cars. And that is another thing, guys. When you modify your car, I don't care if we're talking engine, transmission, bushings, whatever. You are expediting the wear and tear that you are putting on your vehicle. And that's a fact. Especially when, in my case, when I'm running a lot more rich, when I'm messing with fuel mixture and timing and this and that, that is just going to inherently put more wear on my car than it would otherwise in stock factory format. So when people want to start complaining and making these broad stroke statements about how unreliable a WRX is, when really the sample size is only crazily overbuilt WRXs without proper supporting mods to really even things out, that's unfair. And that's just where we're at. So if you can take one thing away from this conversation right here, because I'm gonna wrap it up. I know I'm rambling. If you can take one thing away here, guys, reliability and proper maintenance and usage of, in this case, your WRX is king. It's not to say that all WRXs suck and all WRXs are going to have this and all WRXs are going to have that. That's just not true. If you take the time, put in the effort to do what you need to do to put you in a place to set yourself up for success, I promise you this platform is going to treat you well. And we are going to end it there. If you like this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up. I know I'm very, very interested to hear everyone's thoughts down below. So please be active in the comments section. As always, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more content like this, some different content about Subarus, about trucks, you name it. We're going to do it here at Gearbox. But once again, guys, I really appreciate everyone hopping on the video today. And until next time, peace.